Hey everybody, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
We're super pumped to see you. I'm Brendon, that's
Denise.
and we are super excited for you to join us today on Transformation Week. First, it's January 1st, 2019 as we are filming this, and we know you're super excited about this year. What are you most excited about this year?
Well, I think sunshine and some crazy, exciting, wonderful adventures.
Okay, I'm the same. We are filming this right now in Puerto Rico. If you haven't heard the news, we moved and we're super pumped. And you can see it's a very beautiful, beautiful place. Now listen, I previously recorded a training for Transformation Week Day 1. It's all about get clarity. How do you get more clear about who you are and what you want in your life? That's a training. Now I shot that in the studio because when we moved down here, we literally didn't know if I was gonna have a studio. We didn't know if my camera gear would be here. We didn't know how I could teach a long format training like I have. So I'm gonna cut to the studio right now where I'm gonna teach you how to have an extraordinary 2019 with 3 different frameworks that will help you find some clarity for your year. But I wanted you to see us, feel us. We're on the journey of transformation ourselves. This was a big move, right?
Very big move. We're excited to share it with you.
Yeah, we're very excited. If you don't yet subscribe to The Brendon Show, please subscribe to it because Denise is my very first interviewee of all time. No pressure. That will be coming out in the next couple days on The Brendon Show, so make sure you subscribe there too. With that, please enjoy this Transformation Week Day 1 training on getting clarity for 2019. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year! It's Brendon Burchard and I'm excited to welcome you to Transformation Week. For the next 7 days, I'm gonna send you a brand new training video every single day where we're really going to help you start this new year in a more focused, confident, and productive place. It's a great honor to be with you here on your new year, if that's when you're watching this. I cannot wait for you to get this training. A lot of people have high ambitions for these next 12 months, but they really don't know where to start, or they have really, really good plans, but they don't feel good, and they're not ready for the demands of what's coming in 2019. I think you're gonna find Transformation Week is really going to support you in your long-term growth, but also in the next 7 days, you're gonna find like a new vitalization about life. So I'm really excited that you're here. In a moment, I'm gonna step back and teach you 3 different frameworks for the theme of today. Transformation Week begins with getting clarity. If you don't have clarity, you can't change, you can't grow, right? No clarity, no goals, no goals, no growth. It just ties together. So my job here today is to remind you that only 2 things are gonna change your life in 2019. Either something new is gonna come into your life, something new and positive, a new person, a lottery or something, or something new is gonna come from within. And what I'm gonna share with you over these next 7 days, sometimes it might be like, oh yeah, I know that, Brendon, but I'm not applying that. Or I haven't thought of it that way before, let me journal about that. I'm not gonna do a casual 7-day challenge with you. We're gonna go deep. If you've never been in my community before, I want to share something with you. I've had the blessing of writing 6 books. I've spent 20 years studying neuroscience, positive psychology, and high performance studies to really understand how do you develop expertise. I'm not the guy you go to for just hope or memes. I've never posted a meme. My job is to be the advanced guy. My job is to be the tactical guy. You come to me for high performance work, which is how do I really change my mindset and develop better behaviors and more self-discipline to change the world in the way that I want to. I want you to really step into command of your life in 2019. And so I'm gonna push you, I'm gonna bug you, I'm gonna be a little bit strong throughout these transformation days together because I wanna see you change your life. I wanna see you out there on social media, #Transformation Week. I want you as a new member of this HPX community to really get a tremendous amount of value from this. So I'm gonna tell you some simple things to do that. 1, make the time today to watch this full video. You can pause it right now and see it's a longer video because it's day 1. We have to get clarity. 2, I wanted to make sure that you download the worksheet down below this video because the worksheet is really an activity guide and there's gonna be prompts in there. They're gonna help you get really clear about your 2019, not just in the different parts of your life, but also existentially, like where are you going? What's it all about, man? So we're gonna solve some of those things. So I honor you being here. If this is your first time ever interacting with me or this new HPX Life brand, HPX stands for the High Performance Experience. It's what I believe every single person wants to experience in their life, the high performance experience. It's that level where you are fully engaged with life, that you're joyous and you're confident, and you're moving in the direction towards your dreams with real momentum. Like living the high performance experience to me is what makes me feel happy. You know, because do you know any underperformers who are super happy? You know, it's like when I'm performing at my best, meaning I have high intention, I'm present in the moment, I'm in command of my thoughts, my beliefs, my feelings, I'm taking charge of my day, I'm making sure that I set boundaries, that I move towards goals judiciously, conscientiously, with real discipline and real excitement for the day. Man, that's the high performance experience, and that's what I want to gift to you. And so I thank you all and I celebrate you. You could be in a lot of different places today, but today you chose to be part of Transformation Week. You chose day one. And that's the way I want you to look at this. This is day one, but this is day one of the rest of your life. I'm going to ask you questions in today's training. When we step back to the flip chart, I'm going to teach you primary aspiration theory to help you identify different parts of your life. And I really want you to watch this full video. I promise it will deliver the goods, even if sometimes it's philosophical or academic. I want you to learn to think in different categories of your life. I want you to have frameworks for how to succeed. I want the path ahead to become more predictable for you. I want the path ahead to be something that you're excited about. That's going to take you watching this video, downloading the tools, and then please share in the community just by making sure you hashtag Transformation Week. Get your friends involved, get the girls involved, get your buddies involved, get everybody involved, because by the end of these 7 days, you will know 2019 will be the best year of your life. It's an honor to be here with you. I'm going to step back now. We're going to change the scene, and I'm going to be teaching you primary aspiration theory. Let's get it, 2019. Okay, day one of Transformation Week is all about get clarity. If you don't have clarity about who you are and where you want to go in life, man, it's difficult to get there, which we all know. I would say no clarity, no change. No change, no goals, no growth. So we've got to start by getting you clear about what you want and where you're going. And the funny thing is, most people don't have any framework for doing that. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 different, very complex, but easy for you to fill out frameworks to help you figure out your life. Okay? Because we all have different ways of thinking about our life. Some people love to just get into each area of their life. They like to think about their relationships. They like to think about their health. They like to think about, their friends and their adventures and their learning. And that's like their whole life. It's like looking into each arena of their life. Other people, me specifically, I love to think more philosophically, existentially, big picture, long-term purpose stuff. That's going to be this framework I'm going to teach you here today in Transformation Week. And then I'm going to also teach one more framework. It's the third framework, and that's what I call vision circles. It's about how do I decide what I should do with my life and how that becomes like a career or a thing. Because a lot of people ask me, well, Brendon, I'm excited about the next 12 months of my life, but I don't know what my purpose or my passion or my career even could be. So we got a big session here today, 3 different frameworks. I'm going to start with the one where we jump into the different arenas of your life, and down below this video, you'll be able to find downloads and worksheets for each of these 3 frameworks I'm going to teach you today. We're going to start with what we call the whole life assessment in my high performance planner. I hope you have this already. It's not mandatory or required for Transformation Week, but it will definitely help you for the rest of your life. This is what I use every single morning to get my life in order, and it's what I use at the end of the day to review my habits. But something is in here it's literally 2 or 3 different times, you'll get to do this in the book, and that is what we call the whole life assessment, okay? It's like the opening of High Performance Planner is, I have people do this spot check on their entire life in 10 different categories. I have them look at their health, their mental emotional states, their partner, relationship, love, family, friends, mission, experiences, spirit, their finances, their learning, and I have them score themselves on a score of 1 to 10. Okay, 1 is not so good, 10 is pretty good. 10 different areas, 10 different ratings, and that means they get a score of 0 to 100%. And it's just a good spot check. That's down below this video. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because it's very self-explanatory. You can jump into it. But what I want you to do for Transformation Week, and this whole concept today of getting clear, is I want you to both score yourself in each of these areas, and then I want you to set goals in each of these areas. So this is like when you fill it out, it's good to get some awareness and to score yourself, but then I want you to set goals. Set goals for what should be your health. And I want you to set aspirational, big goals. So for your health, say, okay, if it's gonna be the best year of my health ever, what would I do? Mental, emotional. If I was gonna feel my absolute best, what would that look like? Partnership, relationship, love, significant other. What would that relationship feel like? Family, friends, mission, experiences, spirit, finances, learning. You get the idea. It's a really great tool if you don't have it. It's discounted right now on Amazon, wherever you're at in the world. I highly recommend it for the next, part of your life. So I think it's really important. But you can download that specific whole life assessment down below. What I'd like to do is spend time with you thinking about your life and the aspirations of your life in a different way. And that's what we're gonna do here today, and gonna be most of my teaching for you today's Transformation Week. And that is about what are our primary aspirations. I really believe there's only 4 primary aspirations in life, right? We only have 4 aspirations or major goals, what they might call in psychology, higher order goals. We have being goals, right? We have relating goals, and we also have creating goals, right? If you think about almost everything you feel or you think or you seek or you need or you go after, once you have, safety and sustenance in place, it's really these types of things: being, relating, and creating. And specifically, what I mean by that is we all want to be a person who we are proud of, who we respect, and that we feel alive. Like if you ask a person, like, what do you want? One of the things every person will say is, I want to feel fully alive and energized, and I want to be proud of who I am. Everybody says that. That's being goals. So we're gonna have to ask you who you've been being in the last 12 months, and who do you want to become in the next 12 months? And I'm gonna help you do that. Then people also talk about, relating goals. Every single one of us thinks through our life in many ways from a social lens. We think about how we relate with other people and how we want to feel with other people, how we want to interact with them, how we want our relationships to have depth and pop and vibrancy and connection, right? We also think about things that we're going to create. This is where a lot of people are like, what do I want to do? What do I want to make? What do I want to contribute? How do I want to think and use my brain each day, right? Those are the type of creating higher order goals. And in the middle of everything is, of course, perfect for this time of year, we all have growing aspirations. We all want to grow, right? So if you think about it, when I sit down with people and I'm doing like high-level coaching with people, often, as simple as this sounds, a lot of people never do the work. They're not thinking about who they're being each day at work. They're just kind of showing up and going through the motions. And going through the motions is the death of high performance. So we've got to be more intentional these next 12 months. Can you agree? We've got to be more conscientious and more conscious of how we're showing up. And we've got to think about how we're going to relate with other people, what we're creating, and how we're growing along the way. These are the 4 things we all want: being, relating, creating, and growing. And what I want to do for you now is kind of jump into each of the goals that help those higher order goals happen, right? When I say we have being goals, what do I mean by that? I mean specifically that we all want congruence in our life. We all want to be congruent with the best possible person we know we can be, right? We want to be congruent with a future vision of ourselves as our best self, right? When there's suffering in our life, it's often because we're being incongruent. We have stepped out of integrity and we're not being the person we know we can be, and it causes mental, emotional, spiritual suffering, right? I don't know if you've ever been there, but a lot of people, they kind of go through the day and they're faking it. They're not being real. They're not telling people what they really think, feel, desire, want, love. instead, they're putting on a mask, they're showing up, they're, not being who they really know they can be because they feel like they have to get along, they feel like they have to fit in, they're trying so desperately to belong that they're becoming fake. And when we are incongruent with who we know we really are, that's the deepest levels of misery in life. So if you were going to be more congruent, how would that show up? Like, first you would have to say, well, who do I want to be? And so what I'd love you to think about is you don't have to think about the end of your life, though that's a really positive and good thing to do. Let's start with 5 years out. In 5 years from now, if you were more joyous, more confident than you are now, what would that person be like? Like, describe your best self 5 years from now. And then, once you've done that, now, because most people can think about that because they can start with where they're at. But then I'd love for you to go at the very end of your life and say, okay, if at the end of my life I was happy with the person I became, what does that person who I became look like in terms of their values, their beliefs, who they are in the world, how they show up? And I want you to know you're going to ask that. And many of you have been with me for a really long time in my community, and you know that my story began when I had a car accident at 19. And that car accident taught me essentially that I wanted to be a more intentional man. I wanted to realize the blessing of life. I wanted to have reverence for life because I realized we all get second chances. And you know what everyone does with their second chance? They start fine-tuning who they want to be in life. And this might be that second chance for you, this time of year or this moment, or as we start Transformation Week together, that maybe this is your second chance to live a life more congruent with who you know you are and who you know you can be. You got to make that commitment. We can't do it in a worksheet. You won't get just hearing me talk. You've got to show up each day and say, I've got to start living my life, not other people's lives. I got to be congruent with who I know I can be. And if that's not a deep-seated commitment to you, then you got to think longer about the end of your life and about the person you're going to become. And that might charge you up today. And that's the second thing we're going to talk about is if you think about the being goals, we ought to be somebody who we're proud of because we're congruent with our best values and our highest self. We also want to be somebody who has a level of charge. And if you haven't heard that language from me before, what I mean by that is we all want a positive energy in our life. We want to feel fully charged, right? Ask any person, what do you want? Well, I want to feel fully alive and proud of who I am. That's the being aspiration. I'm proud of who I am. I feel alive. Awesome. So how are you going to be proud of who you're going to be, and how are you going to feel more fully alive? How are you going to develop more charge, more vibrancy? This is the stuff of health, right? This is the stuff of health and wellness. This is the stuff of take care of your body, sleep well, eat well, exercise regularly, get your doctor's checkups, get your workout buddy, take care of yourself. That's what the charge is. That's how you get it. I'm this annoying because for a long time I've known I want to be a guy who has the energy to deliver his service to the world. I never want to run out of gas. I want to have stamina all day. I want to be mentally sharp when I need to be mentally sharp. I want to show up with joy and positivity. I want to be the light, not the darkness. I've got to figure out how to take care of myself to do that. So have you been thinking about these things? Who you're going to be the next 12 months? I'd love for you to live in congruence with that. And in the worksheet, there's some prompts, some questions that will get you thinking about these types of things. How you're showing up in the world and whether or not it is your truth. For you to live your highest, truest sense of yourself, that's congruence. For you to have the energy to feel good about your being, your bon santé, for you to feel like, I'm good. There's some prompts for that as well, so you can start developing in these areas. These are obviously longer term, bigger picture things than most people think about at just like New Year's. It's like, oh wait, I really gotta be more focused on who I am being in the world and how I'm living in the world. That's what our being aspirations are. The second thing I was talking about was relating, right? We have relating aspirations. Primarily, we want to have deep, vibrant levels of connection with people. Ask anyone, what do you want from your relationship? At base, they're ultimately going to get to the fact of like, I want to feel a level of connection where, it's a real connection. Like we really have a deep connection. And I want there to be a vibrancy there. And whether that's they're discussing like a significant other, a family member, a friend, a lover, we all want that. We all want that level of depth with somebody and vibrancy. We want an energy there and we want realness there. And everybody at the end of their life has to be aware of the fact of how they treated people and the types of relationships they created. When I faced the end of my life, now twice, I'm in my 40s and I've had two significant bouts of, accidents in my life where I was in hospital beds. And I can tell you, you think about the people who you're going to miss and who's going to miss you. And that's why I always talk about live and love, It's like relating. We really will think about the relationships. At the end of your life, you're either going to be in a bed by yourself if you're passing away that way, or you're going to be in a bed and you'll have family and friends around who appreciate you, who care for you. And that's really important. And it's also not just a matter of just going through the motions with relationships, but deciding to have extraordinary relationships. If you're going to have a greater quality of relationships with people, greater depth and greater vibrancy, how would you need to show up in those relationships? Not what are they giving you? How would you need to show up to set that tone, to be the role model, to create that magic? Because we're so good at that when we first start dating somebody, right? You do all the little tricks to make them smile, you get them the gifts, you send the thank you notes, you dote on them, and then 5-10 years go by later and you're like, did you take out the trash? And you've lost that sense of like, oh, it's my job to create connection here. It is your job in your marriage, in your partnership, in your love relationship with other people to create the connection. That's your job. Create the connection. Deepen the connection. Make that connection more vibrant. That is your job. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand relationships. This is the end outcome, is the depth and vibrancy of relationships. I also know that in relating, what's really important to us is that we need to feel care. We need to feel cared for. Like connection, that's something we can go and make happen, but we desperately need to feel cared for by others. When an infant is born, if they're not cared for, they die. And if an infant is born and they're raised in malice, if they're raised in total chaos, it's not that they can't have a good life, but the odds are against them so bad now. And so we've got to feel cared for. But here's the deal. If you're not caring for yourself and you're not setting boundaries and expectations with other people, if you're letting people run you over all the time, overload you with too many tasks, you don't feel cared for. Suddenly, you're the high performer or you're the leader at the top, and it's lonely at the top. One of my mentors, Brian Tracy, says, if you're lonely at the top, you did it wrong. If you don't feel like anyone is caring for you, you're not asking for help, or you're not asking for help from the right people. Listen, you can be a person who creates great, positive, amazing relationships. But if there's no reciprocity there, if there's no reciprocity there, I was like, I know this word. If there's no reciprocity there, you're miserable. Isn't it true? Like, I know that you might be the person who's the giving spirit in your family, your friends, you might be the high performer, but if no one is caring back, then there's misery. So what do you have to do? You have to ask for it. It's the hardest thing in the world. But if you don't get the cards or the appreciation or the acknowledgement or the validation from your spouse, your partner, your friends, your team, you have to call that out and say, hey, listen, I'm not feeling cared for in this relationship. I'm doing all the work. I'm not feeling like you guys care if I'm here or not. Because if you don't feel cared for, everything else can be good in your life. But that one thing strips you of joy. And the only way to get more caring from others is to have the courage to ask for it. If you need more caring from your spouse, this transformation week should kick that off. And you should ask for it. You should say, you know what? I need a little more attention. I need a little more acknowledgement. I need a little more appreciation. I'm kind of drowning here. I feel alone. If you don't voice these things, how is your life going to improve? We all want deep and vibrant relationships in our life, but we don't get them unless we ask for the caring that we need. The other thing that we all want is the creating aspiration. And that is specifically two things. One, creativity. Creativity is vital for a sense of well-being in our life. Like if you, and I'm sure you had those jobs before where you go to a job and you don't actually make, do, or participate in anything, right? You're pushing the paper or you're just kind of going through the motions, but you're not really there creating, contributing, like being a part of the process. There's no magic there. So how are you going to activate your creativity in the next 12 months? What are you going to do? Like, how are you going to put creativity in your agenda every day in some way or another? That means maybe you take 20 minutes to draw. Maybe it means you take 30 minutes extra on projects to go and flower it up a little bit. Maybe it means for you, you start shooting those videos or creating that content or doing that thing that you love. For me, I got to write every day or I go insane. So everyone has their different thing, but your ability to consistently express creativity is something that most people forget when they think about their resolutions or their goals. So right here in Transformation Week, I'm telling you, you need to activate your creativity more often. You need to ask how, when, where. And it's really important. So let me give you an example. I have a creativity rule. Whenever I finish a project, I go back through it one time and go, how would I change things up if it was a little more creative? Like, how could I add a little bit more of my voice, my values, aesthetic to this? It's one of the things I feel like really made my career magical is that I never just go through and finish something and hand it off or post it. I go one more time through and go, how could I, do this a little more creatively? And that sparks my mind because, listen, if your mind is bored, you can be a very congruent, healthy person. If your mind is bored, you can also have great relationships, but you'll be miserable if your mind is bored, and you know this, right? So you are the person who is responsible for your mind. You're the person who has to activate it and let that thing dance and play and flow. And if you're not doing it, listen, you can't blame your job, you can't blame your boss, you can't blame your spouse. If you're living a boring, non or uncreative life, that's on you. And one of the best things you can ever do to revitalize yourself is to create more habits where you're doing something where you're creatively engaging, building something, contributing something, doing something that matters. Now, also under the creating thing is where we really find our meaning, our sense of joy, and that is in contribution, right? We all want to know that our life is ultimately contributing something. This is where some people, you would say, well, Brendon, I've got these goals, these giving goals. Well, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to create contribution in the world, right? Contribution doesn't happen, you create it, right? Contribution doesn't just happen. Like you have to be specific, thoughtful, strategic. You have to go, what do I want to contribute? What do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to contribute for my sense of magic of life? It comes from giving. Right? We're never living unless we're giving, and you all know that. So what contributions would you love to make in the next 12 months? And I don't mean just write a check somewhere. That's okay too, though. I mean more what would you like to contribute ultimately? Your life is creating a story. And as your life is creating the story, what is it giving? At the end of these chapters, what's being given out? What's the message? What's the contribution specifically? And I think what happens this time of year is people don't think about giving. They just don't. And they're more well, I want to achieve this best-selling book, or I want to get this stuff. But what they're really after is new states of being, better relationships, and knowing that their work, their daily activities, are adding up to some type of difference in the world. That's our contribution. Okay, with all of that said, well then we've got in the middle of all this, of course we want to grow. We want to grow in our relationships and who we're being and in what we're giving. And two things matter the most to our happiness. And it took me a long time to figure these two things out, but they're so fundamental. Number one is our drive for excellence. This, some people, frankly, don't have. Other people have too much. But this drive for excellence is about, the real sense of growing comes from a sense of, I want to be more excellent at this thing, right? I want to be more excellent at this skill, right? If you want to grow as a public speaker, you want to get more excellent. What that means is I want to be more excellent on stage, right? If you want to grow in any given skill set, if you want to develop competency, it means I want to get better at this, right? I want to get better at this. Everything you do, you got to go, I want to get better at this. I want to get better at this. And that comes from that impulse of excellence. I want to do things well and get better at it, is at the center of our sense of growth. So look around your life. Where can you get more excellent? Is it a skill? Is it something that you give? Is it like, if you think of all the major activities you do during a day, how could you do them better? Right? It could be as simple as, well, I go to the gym and I do my bicep workouts, Brendon. I'm like, okay, cool. How do you do it better next time? Well, Brendon, I'm just a painter. I go in, I just flow. Okay, how do you do it better? How do you do things better is one of the great things that have built our human society to the level it is at, is that people have the aspiration to do things with excellence. But also, that's building excellence. There's another sense of growing that's really important, and that is called enrichment goals. An enrichment goal means, how I know I'm growing in a relationship? I'm enriching it. Enriching means things like I'm more mindful, I feel it more, there's more presence. I'm making memories now, right? Our real sense of growth in life is when we start to feel life more. Isn't it true? Our real sense of growth in life is when we start to feel life more, when we start enriching the moment with presence, mindfulness, awareness, conscientiousness, consciousness. Our real sense of spiritual growth doesn't come from getting more things. It comes from learning to be present in a way in which our spirit is more alive, that we've enriched the moment with spirit. We don't need more things. We need to feel differently. And so you know that you're growing in life when each day feels more magical. Isn't it true? It's what we're after. So I call this whole thing primary aspiration theory, which is a really fancy way of calling the basics something fancy. But primary aspiration theory is really important. But here's why I teach you all this. Because I want to teach you the difference in people's lives. And once you get this, I think your life is forever transformed. Because we all have these. Every human being wants to be proud of themselves because they're congruent with who they know they can be, and they have energy. Remember, I want to be alive and proud of who I am. We also have relating goals. I want deep, caring, rich relationships with other people. I want to create things that amplify, turn on my mind, make me feel creative and make a difference in the world. That's creating. And I want to know I'm getting better at things and that life feels better. Those statements are the sum of everything I guarantee you really want in life. But how do you know if you're going to get them? Well, one, this is the subject of today's lesson. You got to get clear on these things. You got to start thinking about these things at more philosophical, deep, practical levels. And that's just important. These show up for me in every way that I fill out my whole life assessment from the High Performance Planner. But for you, maybe you revisit this video, maybe you download the worksheet, you revisit it every Sunday. I don't know, you need to make a practice that these are on the dashboard of your mind. But here's the thing, I don't know how to draw this exactly. So forgive me if this doesn't look so great and I ruin my beautiful picture, but here's what I've learned. Around all of this, as this goes on and on in our lives, what I have learned is something so simple and so basic, is that the difference that is made in people's lives are based on two things, and two primary things. So are you going to be the person you want to be? Are you going to have the relationships you really want? Are you really going to grow? Or are you going to create things that really matter and make you come alive with creativity? There tends to be two things that differentiate people, because we all want this. Obviously, clarity is important. We've got to know these things. That's why I'm having you do the work. But here's the difference in how people feel later in their life. Number one, and again, I'm going to ruin my little picture here because I don't know. Shoot. So here's the difference in the quality of people's lives, though. Watch this. And I'm going to ruin my little pretty picture here. But here's the difference in people's lives. One thing is ambition. Think of all these things. One person, if your ambition for, your relationships is down low, then that's a different quality of relationship. If your ambition is to have great relationships, that aims your intention, that sets your expectation, that changes the interactions. Many people, their ambitions are too low for the quality of life they really want to experience. They're not dreaming big enough. They're not thinking big enough. They've given up on themselves. They don't believe in themselves, and they keep hoping that something else is going to change for them. But I would say only two things change your life. Either something new comes into your life, so you're lucky. You win the lottery. You meet a new person. You get that new job out of nowhere. Or something new comes from within. Only two things change your life. Either something new comes into your life or something new comes from within. And one of the things that you must allow this next 12 months is permission for higher ambition. Permission for higher ambition. Listen, your level of contribution in the world, your level of excellence at what you're doing, your level of who you show up as, your level of relationships are all based on the ambitions you have. Your desire, your hunger, your dreams, your vision for all of that stuff. And many people, they just never thought about it. So A, that's the problem. Or B, they're aiming too dang low. You have come further in your life than you give yourself credit for. Your goals must appropriately adjust. What happens is most people set their ambitions based on their current circumstances or their current competencies or their past childhood. And I'm like, no, listen, you're in a new place now. The future's better than you think. You're stronger than you think. Today, you can't let your vision for your future be limited by the circumstances or the conditions of today or the past. You've got to break all of that in your mind and see your life where you want it to go and have ambition again. I always tell people, one of the best ways to change your life is to start expecting something from yourself again, my sister. Ambition. It's time to raise your standards, to set your sights higher. That's what doesn't happen for people here, and that's often where they struggle. So all around this, two things are happening. One, your level of ambition, and two, this is the difference maker, your level of command. Man, no one likes this word, but I love it. Your level of command in life. This means you taking charge of your life. You, when you get knocked back up, saying, okay, I'm in charge, I got to get back up and go. When you struggle in life, you take charge again of life. If you don't have command of your life, if you don't take the helm, if you're not the captain of the ship, all of this is just positive thinking, man. The difference maker in people's lives is the ambition they set and the command they take over their circumstances, their thoughts, their behaviors, their actions, their relationships, the direction of their daily focus and goals, man. That's it. Think about the importance of command. Another way that might sound softer to say this is resilience, confidence, and self-direction. It means, hey, listen, lots of people want things, they have big goals. When they get, knocked down, they don't have the confidence or the resilience or the self-determination to get up and go again. Or they let other people push them around. Everyone says no, so they quit. Everyone says you can't, so they believe they can't. But highly successful people take command of their life. They say, you know what? This is the demarcation line. I am no longer let everyone else push me around. I am no longer going to play small. When someone speaks down to me, I will speak up to them. When someone tells me, no, you can't, you don't have a chance, you say, watch me. When someone doesn't believe, you realize that their understanding is not necessary for your progress. It's taking command over your own thoughts, behaviors, and direction in life. And being able to do that in the most difficult of circumstances. Being able to do that when no one believes. Being able to take command when you don't feel like it. Command is the same thing, like another way to say it, self-discipline, right? It's like, okay, I don't feel like it today. You might wake up and be like, I don't feel like it today. But you take command, you say, okay, brain, I hear you saying you don't feel like it, but listen, we're gonna do it. Put those shoes on, hit the road, you're jogging, let's go. Command is taking control of those fearful or lazy impulses that shut us down or turn off our action. Command. It says, listen, I know I don't feel like it, but it's my time. I know I don't feel like it, but if I don't care what I feel like, what's important? What is necessary? And I would say this has been a big difference maker in my life. Everyone thinks, well, Brendon, you're the motivator. You must wake up every day in a flowery mood. Ask my wife. Sometimes I wake up, I'm like a grump. Denise is like, what's up with you? Partially because I don't drink caffeine in the morning. Maybe that's part of it. She's just like flowing, and she's a morning person. My father, my mother, they're morning people. They're happy and loving and joyous. And sometimes like, and talk to me for a little bit here. I need to get myself situated. So believe it or not, I need to take command of my mornings. When my mornings are like, let's lay in bed, I'm like, let's get to work. When my day feels like it's derailed, I go, let's get it back on track, let's go. Because think of the alternative. A difficulty shows up in life and you flow with the difficulty in a sense of like giving up. Something interrupts your day and you go, I guess there goes the whole day, screw it, Netflix, popcorn, and wine. Well, Netflix, popcorn, and wine feels really good in the moment, but you lost command of your life and you gave it to the TV. And so I want you to think about it. You taking command over how you're showing up in the world, how you're treating other people, what you're creating, and how you're growing changes everything. When you develop your own curriculum for growth in life, everything changes. Mediocrity happens when somebody is not taking command of the true potential within them. And I want you to really hear me say that. So maybe you hit pause, rewind, play it again. Maybe you take your notes down. But this is the most important thing I can tell you. The quality of people's lives usually comes back to, are they clear about these areas? They have some clarity about their life assessment as you're gonna fill out. It's like, are they clear about where they're at and what they want in these areas? But ultimately, the quality really depends on your ambition and the command that you take. Now I know, as you're watching this, if you know my work, you're like, but Brendon, you also love sociology and environment, and that's true, right? I'm not here to say that people who have lots of ambition and command can succeed in every environment. Sometimes the culture, the community, sometimes disrespect, sometimes people, just having terrible actions towards you, sometimes life. I get it. But I'll tell you what, no one succeeds without these two things. So let's develop them. I want you to believe in a higher purpose, a higher calling, a higher quality of life, a higher abundance for yourself. And I want you to get up tomorrow and no matter how you feel, take command of that day. Now, let's get on to the last piece. Everyone asks, when I talk about these types of things, says, well, Brendon, the thing is for me, I don't know what I want. And so let's talk about the vision circle. For those who are like, okay, I'm with you, Brendon, I'm getting some clarity here. The whole life assessment helped me focus. Now you got my existential brain firing off on what I want in life. Now, for those of you who are really struggling to tactically kind of line it up a little bit, here's what I'd like to suggest. What I learned about finding clarity in my life, about my passion, my vision for my life, like what I do, and that is what I just call the vision circle. It's just a different way of thinking about what your trade or your mission or your career or your major contribution might be. Now, some of them are basic, you've all heard before, right? Just follow your passions. So passions is a good one. If you already know what you're passionate about and you love it, do more of it. Got it? If you already know what brings you alive, the world needs you to do more of that. So focus on that. Passion is a lot of it, right? Knowing what you enjoy. But listen, I want to also communicate to you, passion isn't everything, because maybe that's like I never had passion for video. I was like terrified of video. I didn't have passion for speaking on stages. I was mortified of public speaking. And now, as many of you know, 250 million video views. I spoke to 55,000 people live in person these last 12 months. Like, now I do those things really well, and now they're a passion. But at the beginning, they were not a passion. But those skill sets were a requirement for me to serve. So sometimes your passion grows as you find where you want to serve. Now people say, well, Brendon, I don't know where I want to serve. So that's where this other thing comes in mind, and that's need. And this is what often you'll hear, new teachers in the entrepreneurial space will be like, well, just find a problem and solve it. Just find a need in the marketplace and give the solution and you'll be rich. That's most of people. It really bothers me when people focus solely on that one, because here's the thing. If all you do in your life is solve other people's problems, you probably won't live your own life. If all you do is create solutions for big needs, but you're not passionate about those needs, you'll be solving problems and you will be unfulfilled. Right? People tell me all the time, Brendon, just create more of your posts. Like, look at the analytics of all your posts and just create more posts based on what the audience always liked. And I go, oh, so meaning give up my personal art? Meaning don't put out things that I want to put out for no other reason? Most of my contributions on social media have nothing to do, is this going to get the most likes? It's, this is a message I want to put in the world. And often I'll put a post out there and it'll get like 1,000 likes and someone will write back and they'll be like, Brendon, if you did this thing or you made this meme, you could reach 10,000 or 1 million people. I'm like, I know, but I'm not a meme creator. That's not my, there's no passion there for me. Yeah, it solves a need, like the customers like it, but it's not who I am. My passion isn't there. That's why I think these things have to overlap. Like, you can see opportunities or needs in the marketplace, but if we all just went along and tried to solve every need or opportunity in the marketplace, we'd be very unfulfilled if we didn't learn to match it up with what's true in our heart, what our passions dictate. That's why those need to overlap. Then, I think what's really important, and this is what most people fail at in life, is whatever you choose to do, you need to make sure it matches up with the lifestyle that you want to live. This is one most people don't get until they get older, right? When you're young, you're following your passions, you're trying to get a job. But at some point, you got to ask, does this match with the lifestyle that I want to live? Like for me, I know I could have built these big companies, and I've got 4 brands that do tens of millions of dollars. I'm super proud of that. But for me, I also didn't build a company of 10,000 employees. I could have, but that wasn't a lifestyle that I wanted, right? I could have gone and done dozens of other things in my life that wouldn't have allowed my lifestyle. Like, I knew my lifestyle was, I don't want a jam-packed agenda in the morning. I'm kind of, if you ever came to my house on vacation or on any given work day, it's the same. My vacation morning is very similar to my work morning. I like get up, I do my 20 minutes of vinyasa or movement or calisthenics. So I move for 20 minutes. I read for 20 minutes, and then I plan the day for 20 minutes. And then often in that first hour, this plan, I kind of peter around the house. I'm kind of like a lost, nutty professor, wandering around thinking about things, reading research, writing notes. I mean, I look completely lost and confused. But that's just my creative mind going. I didn't want a job where I had to be, because I'd already had that in my 20s, where I had to be somewhere at 8 a.m. and meeting 8:15, meeting 8:30, 9, I did that. I gave my 20s to that type of life where it was literally meeting all day or on the phone all day. I did that too. Or, doing something I didn't love all day. I was like, no, there's a lifestyle that I want. I want to be able to work from anywhere in the world at any time that I want to generate the levels of revenue that I want. that pushed me in specific directions. Your lifestyle that you want for your family, that should push you in a certain direction. And I know as I'm speaking, some of you have careers that is compromising the lifestyle that you want. And at some point, you need to open up your calendar, go out 6 months, mark that date 6 months from now and say, that's when a change is going to happen. You got to set a date. If you're meeting a need to pay the bills, but you have no passion there and it's destroying your life at home, you got to change that, man. Otherwise, you'll be unhappy. Then this last piece I think is really important too, that most people don't think about, and that is community. The people who you are around, right? I've had really great corporate jobs in my past, and I tell you, some of them I quit because I was like, I don't like these people. Sometimes if you're not around, part of the finding your thing in life, if you don't know what your passion is, part of finding your thing in life is get around people who you think are cool, who you think are aspirational, who you look up to, and let life kind of find its way. I tell young kids this all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm gonna work for this company or this company, and there's these benefits and all that. I'm like, when you went there, which culture did you think was cooler? That you were these people inspire me. Choose that one. Don't choose the one that writes the bigger check or the one that's more convenient. Choose the one that you're gonna be around a community of people. I tell people, if you don't know what your passion is, you don't know a need, and you don't even know what your lifestyle is, get around cool people. Elevate your peer group, and they will open doors, they will mentor you, they will guide you to find what is true. In these 4 circles, there's that sweet spot in the middle, and to me, that sweet spot is always one of 2 things, often similar, but if we had to pop that out, I would say, if you don't know what you want to do, follow what you love learning. And if you've done all this and you still know what you want to do, go back and look for the things in which you found meaning. Things that brought your heart and your soul alive. That's what I go back for. So if you're like, Brendon, I don't know what my passions are. I'm 16, 18 years old. I don't know what my passions are. I don't know what I should do. I don't like my parents, my family, or the kids around school. I don't know what I want to live at. Follow what you love learning. If you love learning, literature, follow that. If you love dance, follow that. If you love video and content, follow that. Follow where that thing is I love tinkering with this. If it's building Legos, follow that. I don't care what it is. Follow what you love learning. And then if you still don't know, go back to what you found meaning in. What really connected with your heart and your soul. Now, I know this was a long session in Transformation Week. OMG, believe me, because I'm sweating here. I'm teaching, right? I'm doing the work for you here. I get it. But this is day 1. It's about getting clarity. And everyone has a different way of getting clarity. So I hope in some way, somewhere in this process, I put a spark in your brain to get a little more clarity about what you want. Now, I don't think in any way that I'm solving all your problems today for your next 12 months. My hope is that in this first day, this is just day 1 of Transformation Week, I got your brain going about your life. And if you don't like me, that's okay. I don't like my shirt today either. But what I'd love for you to do is one gift to yourself. Download the worksheets and do the work. That's it. All I'm gonna ask you in Transformation Week, even if the next 5 videos, because every day, for the next 7 days, I'm gonna send you a brand new video. They won't all be as long as this, and they won't look like this because tomorrow I'm hopping on a plane to a far off distant place, as you will see, right? So they were all gonna look like this, but this is day 1. I wanna kick it off right for you. But my hope is, even if you don't watch the videos, and even if you don't like me, you're like, I signed up for this Transformation Week and this guy's wearing a shirt with little bow ties. This is absurd. What I'd love for you to do is make sure you download the worksheets, because you know who has the answer? Not me, you. So as you fill out these worksheets, I think you'll find some new direction in your life. I think it's important to always journal in your life. One reason I push the High Performance Planner so hard is it forces you to journal every morning, every night, at the end of each week and the end of each month. And those prompts help you stay more aligned. So again, a shout out to the High Performance Planner, the whole team that helped create this thing and get this out there. I appreciate you. Make sure you grab your copy, but download the worksheets, do the work. Journaling is powerful. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this first day of Transformation Week. Do me a favor, make sure you share this page. If you found some insight here or you like the worksheets, tell your friends about Transformation Week, get them involved. It's gonna be this type of training for the next 7 days. So get your team, get the girls, get people involved in this. I'd really appreciate it. Give me a shout out on Instagram and social media as well by using hashtag Transformation Week so we can find you. If you love this type of thing, then please stay involved in the community. Please open your emails from me. I'll be sending them from HPX Life every single day for the next 7 days with more training, more tools, more insights to make the next 12 months the best of your life. I honor you for taking time today to learn about your own personal development, to continue that journey to becoming your best self. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Until then, use hashtag Transformation Week. Tell people what you're learning along the way. Share this page, and I'll see you tomorrow.